Oh, well, you guys can hear me, but they can't hear, so they couldn't hear me say aloha, Lancel, or any of that other stuff I just said. Ooh, there, now they should be able to hear us. They also did not get to hear me complaining about, let's see, about the chatbot not properly connecting, because once every month, I think it's every 30 days it expires.
Huh.
Yeah, I gotta go redo it. Let's see. There's that one. Hold on. You guys can talk while I'm doing this. That was a request. No, an order. Talk. Talk. I'm trying to get us logged in here. Oh, got the token
It's been a
thing.
busy few weeks for me.
Alfie, yeah?
Every Friday I wanted to be on the stream, and every Friday I was up in North Texas, so I was not able to be on the stream.
I can tell a quick story about a squirrel attack.
Really?
While we wait.
Do you have
Yeah,
scars
so-
to show? Because if you don't have scars, or at least like something, I don't know if we're.
Yeah, so I walking my girlfriend's dog out in the park, and he's crazy. He's like a terrier mix, crazy about squirrels. If he sees one 100 yards away, he just goes ballistic. So when I'm approaching a tree and he's not acting out of the ordinary, then I'm pretty much sure there's not a squirrel there. But sure enough, he rounds the corner of the tree or whatever, and there's one on the other side of the bark. He gets it in his mouth, pins it to the ground. This guy immediately starts yelling at me like 0.3 milliseconds into the whole ordeal, like I had no time to even react yet. And here I am trying to get this dog reined in as he's tussling with this squirrel, and eventually he starts rolling around because the squirrel decides, nah, I'm fighting back. And he wraps himself around the snout of the terrier and is biting the heck out of his nose. And he's just yelping, squirreling around, and little flippy flops. And so I have to push my foot down on the squirrel and grab his head and pull them apart. And the squirrel hobbles away, probably died, not from my foot so much as, his bites. And he had just blood all over his face and all over his arm because he ripped open part of his leg on, a root or something. And so I ended up carrying him all the way home. Yeah, that was rough. And then, of course, my girlfriend, she's an ex-vet tech, so she just patches them all up and he's good as new. But, yeah, that was exciting.
Is that how pets work? You can just patch them up and they're good as new like that?
Just like that, yep.
Man.
Yeah. You just feed him digital pet food, too, I think, and it gives him 3 buffs, right? 3 buffs, 1 buff.
That's cool. I have squirrels that have decided to move into my house again.
Oh, wonderful.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think I talked on air, but we had to pay, I think it was like, I'm trying to remember how much it was. It was more than $3,000. We had basically an entire zoo in our attic. We had raccoons, rats, and ring-tailed cats in our attic. And had to have them come in and basically, because it had like built up nests. Apparently raccoons are really neat and they use latrines. But it was a mom who was in there with all of her babies, and so she actually cleans up after them and piles up the poop into big piles, latrine piles. But they have to come in with hazmat suits basically, and the guys up there working in hazmat suits cleaning out all that raccoon crap. And then patching everything else up too. Alright, I got the bot hooked up again, and it's 4 o'clock! Hey guys, what are we going to talk about today?
Bugs.
Bugs? Is that... Oh, that's right, you want me to go to a place. Let me go to a place.
Yeah. Go to a place.
I'm not even sure which server I'm connected to here. I had to jump through a few hoops because there's a version out that I have not released because it had some issues. I integrated a little more than I needed to. I'm going to try to get a new patch version out for you guys for live. Hopefully for tomorrow morning-ish. We'll see if I make time to get that done after the stream. But for those who haven't heard us complain, if you patch up to a newer version than... as a dev, you patch up to a newer version than what's live, and then you can't get into places. But anyways, you want me to go to a place. Let me see, is there a map for this town? Oh, come on. I was just about to brag about how good we're doing on our maps.
Bramer?
Yeah.
It's actually still on QA, I think. It's not on live yet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Yeah. So that'll actually be in the next patch I'm doing. I think I've integrated most of those guys over. I just haven't patched up. But yeah, we've been doing good on the maps. Between you and Travis,
Oh yeah.
knocking some
I
good
think we
ones
got
out there.
about 30 maps in over the last 10 days.
Awesome.
Oh.
And he, for those who didn't hear me talk about this last stream, he is working on. If we're keeping score, I think Ravlox might actually have caught up to Travis on the map count. Ravlox did admit he had a few shortcuts because some of them were the same, and he just had to like recopy them and use the same thing over and over again. But Travis has fallen behind on the count because he is working on the episode 2 map that he's working on. That is, I'm waiting to see it still, but it is. He says it's an 8K map, and he's actually trying to do like really good quality on it. So we'll see. But I think some of the other things we discovered while that was going on from the chatter I saw on our team chat was there's a lot of things we haven't named on the different islands. So trying to come up with some names for some of those things that match fiction and match plans, scenes, and some other things. So he was trying to get that on there as well. But hopefully that will definitely go live this next release, along with, I'm sure, a number of other maps too. Let's see. You want me to go teleport to a thing?
Sir.
Let's see. Let's see where I'm going to. Arteris. Is this you're going to show me the cool Bug Hunters clubhouse that you guys have put a special clubhouse into the game that only bug hunters can get into? Is that what we're going to look at? Because that'd be really cool if there was something like that. You'd get some real testers on there.
Yeah. Maybe we could do that.
All right, well. You have my blessing on that stuff. Oh, look, there's an Arteris map. All right, what am I looking at?
Okay, this is the Bug Hunters HQ, the Bug Brigade headquarters. It's located in Arteris, down by the docks. You can go to the Travelers docks if you want to get there real quick. And it's a houseboat there, in case it wasn't obvious already. And it's actually good that you have this at night. We have fireflies out there, butterflies, and all sorts of different bug-related VFX.
So it is a clubhouse.
The boat is dual purpose. It's a place to display the bug rewards that people can get as they assist us with filing bugs, testing bugs, verifying bugs, and they're displayed throughout the houseboat. As you can see, the butterfly garden chair over there, and there's a few things on one of the bug tables. In addition, we use the lot for testing things. So we take down some of the deco, and actually one of the cloaks we took down yesterday to test some durability issues. So that bug is getting filed. And of course, we made it a little bit of an RPG thing. So if you go through the building, you'll see that each one of the bug moderators has a desk and office. So that
Nice.
way, players that need to report bugs can show up and sit down and relate their issues.
Come to file a grievance.
Yes. Yeah, and it's definitely an interesting place to explore. There's a little bit of a backstory if you read some of the notes that are in the on the tables and such and so on. So something entertaining for the players to come do. And of course, Zolivar. This is Zolivar's house. He has his bedroom back there behind you, and he just stays here all the time doing bug stuff. So
Nice. Feel free to come crash his pad if you guys are out there. The docks in Arteris. Yeah. Hey, all right. Let's see. What am I missing here? I think I missed Skeggy. Thank you for the raid. Stymie LLTS. Thank you for the restub. Long live the Syndicate. Mandalar. Thank you for the bits. I guess since we're actually doing the stream now, do we need to tell them what the phrase is, or have you been saying it on the stream and I haven't noticed? What is our
Chatted it
phrase?
out one time, but it's I love fall most of all, and the prizes this round or this month are going to be an ornate spider legs cloak, a spiderweb cloak, a woven spiderweb cloak, lots of spider cloaks, a zombie statue, and a rustic 2-story village home. And all you have to do is either type in, of course, I love fall most of all into in-game chat, or purchase something new on the web item store.
I'm trying to get your window there to crop better. Hey, thank you very much, Vinisata and John Marcus.
So to close out on the bug stuff, just to give you guys an update, we're wading through the backlog, and there's lots of bugs that are still up on the forums, being processed and fixed. And the team has actually fixed a whole bunch of bugs over the last few releases, which is made evident on the release notes, listing all those out there. So that's great. Definitely keeping up and getting the number of outstanding bugs are getting lower, so it's not not an increasing issue. We're decreasing the backlog and getting there. Much more to do. Once we get all caught up, we'll be in great shape. I'm also internally cleaning up the database as well, so to make the tools that we're using more effective to manage the bugs and get the right ones in front of the devs more quickly.
Awesome. I'm still fighting with trying to crop the little window there. And just none of this stuff ever works. Then I hit enter and it does something weird. You guys just flipped sideways for a second or two. Sorry about that. All right, I'm just not going to worry about it. You guys can deal with the black border on their window. All right, so we are, let's see, release was more than a week away. We're going to have another patch coming up here. I think we've been teasing a lot of stuff. One of the things is going to be mounts for this next release. We're still talking about that internally. There's going to be something that will be live that you guys will be able to play with. It's live now in QA, but there will be something live. Right now I've got one and only is on standby to fix any bugs that come up with it, which there are still a number of bugs in it, so sorry. But that's going to be coming up for the next release at the end of the month. I haven't looked. What day does it fall on? So it falls on the 29th. Okay, that's good. Still just under 3 weeks away. Perfect. But also there's going to be at least one new scene, maybe a couple new scenes. We're going to have some more maps coming up. There's going to be, at least as promised, a couple boss fights that are going to be coming up. I've been tweeting some hints about those. I think we wasn't bad, just accidentally screenshotted some of a hint as to what at least one of the boss fights is going to be today, because I accidentally left a scene set up and Elgarion went to take screenshots and I forgot I had a dude in the scene in there. So yes, one of the scenes will be a boss fight that involves, at least as a mini boss, some lava elementals. It's actually going to be, this is the first one I had planned on finishing was going to be a dragon, but that was actually running into some stuff that was slowing me down and frustrating me. So actually the first one that's going to be done that I'll have on QA should be on there next week. I was hoping to get it live today, but there's too much to do, too many other things coming up. But it will be one in a highly, basically Disborg ruins as the boilerplate starting area, so it'll look a little familiar, but again, a lot of it has changed from the terrain materials to terrain shaders to skybox to a lot of all the trees, the ground, the mountains. A lot of stuff has changed anyways. That's going to be the first one that'll go live. That one I'm planning on that one being a 4 corners and a center, which basically I'd mentioned before that this was a boss fight that was going to be, you had to kill a bunch of things and have them all dead at the same time to trigger a boss. It's actually going to be you have to kill 4 things, have them all dead at the same time to trigger a wave battle in the middle. So the wave battle will not kick off until the 4 other bosses are dead. So basically the idea is that you're going to have 4 things. You're going to have to kill 4 bosses that are probably on par with some of the tougher bosses we have in the game right now. And then it's going to be a wave battle in the middle. And as I hinted in my tweaking, I'm also working on a lot of new effects and abilities. Some of those I've already looked at. As soon as I finished them up, I was like, I should be propagating this to some of the other creatures in the game. So you can expect to see some more stuff coming to other creatures in the game as I looked upon where players were playing, and you guys don't move around much. So some of the creatures in popular scenes will be getting some more tweaks to make them a little more challenging, especially for the parties that just like to stand in one place all piled on top of each other. But let's see. We've got the question bot there. No drunk effect. I get motion sickness. I'm trying to catch up on there. Question, please, can we have more decks? Absolutely, you can have more decks. I love taking numbers and just turning up numbers. I'm honestly shocked that you would need more decks. I see Crafty Method saying drunk effect should be random or only in excess. I thought it was only in excess. We may have the numbers set too high on the alcohol content for some of those things, especially like a 25-year. The 25-year whiskey is going to be getting a tune-up, for those who were wondering as well. But how about you guys? What do you guys have? Anything exciting to talk about? We were talking about TV shows before we came on the air. What were you saying was really good that I need to watch?
Cobra Kai. Amazing show. You like those old Karate Kid movies?
That's during the pandemic stuff, just because we're staying home and we feel like we need something to pass the time and look forward to every day. We do a movie or a TV show every night. And I tried to get the family to start that, but then we got into the whole we can't let Maxine watch that unless we make her watch the 3 Karate Kids. And while Karate Kid 1 is tolerable, Karate Kid number 2 and 3 are... we couldn't stomach going through those just to see a good TV show. So we're actually watching Stranger Things right now. It's good because I'm having to explain to both my wife and my daughter things like, what's a Demigorgon? Should have played D&D. Everybody knows the Demigorgon. Karate Kid is the bad guy? Spoilers!
Yeah.
Going back to the drunk effect again, did we actually make a change on purpose with the drunk effect? Because people are basically saying it's not working.
No, there should be no change on the drunk effect. I think the thing that might... I can go look and see. Maybe it got changed when I touched things and changed times. So the drunk effect, the way... I think there was a misunderstanding within the team as how it worked, but maybe there was a misunderstanding on my part as to how it worked. Gotcha. And it wasn't clear.
And so the other aspect of, with regards to the person who was saying that they get motion sickness, wouldn't that also be controlled by camera effects or something?
Yes, if you disable the camera effects, it will disable that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just disable the camera effects, go to the menu. I have not verified that lately, but I know for a while that's... I have as a exploit report that Boshnell's belt, might be saying it right, maybe not, but Bachanal's belt, Boshnell's belt, whatever, whoever's belt, you could get really drunk and it would increase your strength a bunch, but you didn't get the negative part of it, which is the camera woo-woo if you turn off that one thing. So I had that reported as a exploit, and I'm pretty sure I never fixed that. Oh, you know what I think I did for that? I think I made it so you don't get the strength bonus unless you have the camera effect on. I know that's what I thought about doing. I don't know if I actually did. The players will probably correct me and tell me I know nothing about my own game and changes that I made.
Well, we'll take a pass at the stuff, make sure that it's all working the way we expect it to, and if I'm seeing in the chat that they have their camera effects turned off and the drunk effect's still there, so we'll look at it and we'll talk offline.
I see a Team Red. I don't even know what Team Red announcement is, so is that for another game? They'll probably tell me in a minute. But I do have questions here, and the questions are going to pile up. I actually plan on, for this stream, doing a reverse questions, where I put together a list, and then maybe I'll do this for next time, just so we can mix things up a little bit from you guys constantly asking us questions. I was going to do put together a list of questions for you guys and let you guys vote on stuff during the stream, because I'd actually come up with 3 or 4 things that's as always, as devs, we think we know what we want or how things work or how you guys really play, and then we actually see what you actually do. So some of those are things that, I would think. Is that the puppy dog that was injured?
Yes, this is Mr. Tucker, who got in the fearsome squirrel battle. Oh, come on, buddy. Oh, there he is.
Oh.
That's Mr. Tucker.
Yeah, he does look like a terrier mix of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
famous now.
Yep, Mojito has never caught a squirrel. He chases them, but I feel like he goes intentionally slow because he knows he'll get his butt kicked if he actually were to catch one. He did catch a baby rabbit one time, and I went out and caught him in the yard, and he had his mouth on the baby rabbit, but he wasn't biting at all. And then he'd would take his mouth off, and the little baby rabbit would take a few steps and put his mouth on it again, but he never actually hurt it. And then I stopped him and set
Let
him
it go.
free. And of course, I'm like, oh, that is the sweetest thing ever. You're such a sweet dog. And of course, my wife is like, that thing's probably got 97 diseases, and dog's gonna have to go get shots and put down and blah blah blah.
Oh God.
Anyways, we're getting some questions in here. It's actually 4:17. Let me get the questions copied over for you guys. I'm trying to think, do we have any other exciting stuff coming up? As if mounts and a number of new scenes and boss fights and more maps and mount skills for your mount coming up this next release isn't enough. But
Well, I
wait, there's
guess-
more.
We've got a whole buttload of Inkies coming your way. If anyone likes Inky NPCs, I've been nailing those for a little while.
Yeah, you're getting to do a lot more stuff. We have one channel that basically is where stuff comes across to get approved, and Elgary and Rick's been filling that channel with me cheering as stuff goes across there. But yeah, I love getting the Inkies in there. Again, that's one of those things where, the Herculean task is getting the Inky stuff working and getting it in game so you can actually use it. And I think that's one where the people on the team who had been on the team working on that stuff, we got done with it, and then it's just the exhaustion of, yeah, got it done, except we didn't really make it super usable or available to you guys in meaningful ways. So it's fabulous having him work on that stuff for us. And I'm trying to get some questions copied over here. We already got a few dozen. Bam. And bam. There we go. There's some questions for you if you want to look on that channel. Amanita Shroom, again, asked about having more decks. That's one of those I may be able to just go during the stream. We'll need testing for it, but that is an easy one. Again, what do we have now? Do we have 24 currently? Is it 12, 24?
For, you said,
Yeah,
Inkies?
no, not Inky decks. The decks for building out your card deck.
I want to say it's 20, but
20, I couldn't remember what we said it on last time. It's one that it'll need testing because, again, for those who haven't heard me laugh about it while other people on the team cry, it is super easy. You want me to change number? I'll go change number. And then I do a 5-minute test and it works fine for me, and then actually gets in the game and turns out, nope, famous. Your dog's famous too. But yeah, it gets in the game, and then you guys actually find out. And then decks are one of those things where I can absolutely see that it could have a data load that varies, so it may not break for me, but it may break for you guys because some nut job has his deck with 150 things in it or something crazy. So I'll have to look into that and see what the payload is on that and make sure we're not overflowing any buffers. But turning that number up should be an easy one. Let's see, I got the questions up there, and you guys are carefully looking down the questions because I have to go click the button to draw a prize, right?
Right, yeah. Well, the first one off, Coswald Dirthmeyer asks about the durability stuff. We have a number of different durability issues that have been reported on the forums, and we're going through those and getting them in. So it's not yet been worked on for the Infinity one, where I believe that it's in the combat log.
Yeah, so that's the one I've started working on, but I have not been able to reproduce it yet, and I don't see... I looked over the logic for that stuff, and I didn't see anything obvious. I guess what I was hoping is I'd look in there and it'd be like we got to divide by 0 or almost 0, or some division by a rounding number or something like that. So I did a quick walkthrough of the logic on it, and I did add logic, but I've not seen anything come up, which is making me a little concerned as what might be going on.
Right,
That's
so
one
the-
I already mentioned. I've got the logging on the server side, but I'm also going to add logging on the client side to see if maybe there's like just a miscommunication.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
And if you do that, then that'll make it easier for the bug brigade to actually help out and get information back. So
Yeah.
we'll pound on it, make sure
Yes.
that we get the information.
But yeah, I'm aware of that one. I just don't have a good handle on what is going on. I have spent some time on it, and unfortunately, I love it when there's an easy one that comes up, but I'm not aware of anything that really changed in that category of stuff, or why it would just now start happening. So definitely a
Gotcha.
little bit of a mystery that I'm looking into, but I am aware of it.
There's another one that's not related to this question, but where a specific pod periodically won't allow people to get into it. And I've been getting players to send me logs. I've been trying to reproduce it. And, brigade moderators have been working with me to do it. And basically, when it does happen, there's absolutely nothing that shows up in the logs or anything. It just stops. People's loading screens are basically just stop at the when the player-owned town template's loaded and it's going to move on around, I think it's 65% total load time, and then it just stops and the client has to be killed.
Yeah, if it's a 64%, I've seen there's a 64% that would happen. That would happen. The only time I'd seen that before, it was due to a certain combination of loading decorations that I'd seen. And this goes back to, it's a bug in the Unity threaded loading that when there's some race condition that having a certain things load at just the right time would cause some crashes, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's like multiple things trying to lock out of something out of an asset bundle or what. But we had seen this before. This was, and I fixed a number of instances of that. But yeah, for those, that was the whole like people complaining that I zone when I teleport. Well, usually when you zone when you teleport, it's because of that one particular bug. But there hasn't been a consistent pattern to it. When I found it before, the first couple times I fixed it, it was essentially find what asset the last asset it was loading on when people would have it happen, and then go to it. And this is one of those things where we're talking about bugs and some of the challenges. That's an example, that particular bug that I tracked down 5 or 6 releases ago. And again, it's a kind of a systemic bug. It'll happen in other places, and I'm working on some type of real long-term fix, but there's no, again, I can't see into the guts of what's going on in Unity. But that's an example of sometimes things seem easy and they're not. And I always talk about, like, sometimes there's some special sauce that we just haven't found yet that's the key to reproducing things. And for an example in that one, this was a player, like, anytime I try to teleport home, I crash. And he'd give me, like, the location where he'd crash. And, of course, I'd go try it, and it would not happen for me. Walking into the edge of the map, it wouldn't happen. And that was one that actually I ended up having to go into a player version of the client and also basically take control of their character, log in as them, which we do that occasionally. Sorry if you see your guildmate log on and you talk to them and they ignore them. You can always just say, oh, that was probably a dev logging onto them. It's always a good excuse if you want to ignore them. But I had to go in with them, and it was because of the way we load assets. Hey, Sir Frank, nice seeing you, and also thank you, Mandalar again, and Stymie, long live the Syndicate. But that's one where it had to be the character, it had to be in the player version of the client, and it had to be teleporting to a specific point, and that was all due to how we load nearby assets, causing the exact right pattern of assets to be loaded in sync at the same time, and then I could get the crash. But that's kind of an example of, I think a lot of times people are like, they report a bug and they're like, this always happens, go do the thing, it always works. And it's like, it doesn't always work. There's always like a million circumstances around it from, all the different stuff. But that is one, again, that I've mentioned is systemic. It may be whatever that one is. It may be that case that when you enter from the edge, the order of loading assets. So if I can make sure that one gets on me, and I will go take a pass at trying to reproduce it.
Gotcha.
Because again, that can be just that one thing. And the fix, again, we don't have a way to actually get in there and see what's happening. I do have code I turn on to track what assets are loaded in order. So I can see the last asset loaded, and then basically the fix for it in the other cases is I've been like, not sure if it's the problem asset or not, but I end up moving it to a whole nother asset bundle where it gets loaded at start load time for the entire game and then never gets unloaded, kind of force that to never happen.
Is this something that we could do some client logging on? Like
yes, so that's
slash command?
Yes, I was going to mention that's when I actually have that in there, and I need to add it for a slash command for you guys. And that's one that you can turn on. We definitely do not want it turned on at all times, but it's one for, like, especially like with the bug brigade and you guys getting more active and more serious about the bug stuff. I mean, you look at it. Look how cool they are, guys. They've got a clubhouse and all. Oh, and I think they may be trying to get a thing going, a hype train going. Thank you, Mandalar. Thank you, Sir Frank, again many times and for a million different things, Sir Frank. And Trokip, thank you, kind Sir. Angelus Chak, thank you for the host. And Grumpy Crabnavir, thank you, kind Sir. Name I've seen long, many, many times. Thank you for the bits. Treasure Pile again. A Moldy Potato, that's a name I love seeing. Chris is not live. I was just in the clubhouse. Are you sure? Oh, you know what? I may actually be on the QA server. I can go check for that. Sometimes I log in as devs. I frequently will log into the QA server. Hey, there is a hype train. And last time, and for those who don't know, we do when we have a hype train. Woohoo! Thank you, Mandalar. Thank you, Dart and Obscure. Thank you, Zythar. Thank you, Sorgan Taxel. Last time Elgarian was not here, and I just did every hype train that gets completed, we do one, so that we're going to do that again. I did that last time because without Elgarian here to complain.
Yeah, I could have sworn I heard you say something that I'm like stingy with prizes.
What? What? No. Why would I say that? I like being the good guy, though. But I'm also the one who does not have to go and hand deliver all these prizes. Elgarian, did you know? I'll tell you a secret. In the system we have right now, there's actually code in there and logic, so it will dump out the list of people. And if you know the magic trick, you can take that, and there's a database you can go to and paste it in, and basically it just delivers all the prizes for you all at once.
Oh, it's good to know 8 months in.
Yeah. I will admit, as you've seen, is it gone yet? It hasn't gone yet. Oh, no, you know what? I'm going to have to go no agents. Ooh, I still have build 4s offline. I had another power outage. We have one build machine that lives at my house. I'm trying to remember if this will run on any others. I'm going to try it on Node 07. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff backed up there right now. Hold on. But yeah, it's been flaky enough, and it scares me enough, especially because it's one of these things you have to go like directly into the database and paste in some random looking gibberish, and then it delivers it. That's like gibberish full of IDs and stuff like that. So when I was doing it, I didn't do it either. But you can probably ask Undone. He's the one that did some of that stuff, and he can probably give you the details on it and why you should be afraid of it or not. Hold on, let's see. Man, they're going nuts there. I better figure out how to fix this thing so we can actually get them some stuff. Let's see, how about, let me try this. Let's see, is it going now? There we go. Let's see if it works. This may or may not work. I'm not sure that build machine has everything. I may have to take a break here, so you guys should start picking out questions. I may have to take a break and run upstairs and turn a machine on, reboot a machine. We could probably fill the rest of the stream thanking people here, though, but let me see if the prizing works.
Looks like we got people already wanting to have pumpkin trophy contests. I'm assuming they're asking us because they want a dev-sponsored one. So we got Hollyhock asking, is there a contest for pumpkin trophies? Well, one, you guys as players could definitely run your own, but yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We can get a contest in for the season. Maybe we'll let you guys run up through the weekend of Halloween and then collect the results afterwards. I'll announce something on the forums next week. Sound good?
Sounds great. What kind of ballpark crown giveaway type stuff do we do? Crown value.
Crown value?
Yeah.
Well, it depends, because like the one that's weekly is lower.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna mute the audience here for a second. We can talk for a second.
Give me a budget and.
Okay. Signal. Okay, here we go. They're back live again.
Cool.
We discussed it, and since Elgarion loves making decorations now and doing that type of stuff, he's going to make some special pumpkins as rewards for the pumpkin contest. Make sure you guys get something that is both cool and unique. Speaking of cool and unique, holy cow, I'm going to have to talk for like 5 minutes here in a little while. Looks like they're getting close to getting a 4th round of prizes. 65% there. Oh, but there's only 30 seconds left here. But we got some prizes to call out here. I'll go ahead and do that to stall for a minute, which is Ornate Spider Legs Cloak goes to Lady Kali. Spider Web Cloak goes to Chaos Storm Shadow. Woven Spider Web Cloak goes to Bee Striker. Zombie Statue goes to Radicus. And Rustic 2-Story Village Home goes to Lothos Arkenstone.
Congrats, guys.
Train Consist. So we'll do another one of those. I'll go ahead and kick it off now because we're 30 minutes in, and it looks like we got one extra one there for completing a level. And I'm going to go ahead and then run that. Let me bump it to the top of the... already going. So I'm going to read real quick, and you guys both pick out a question. Mandatory. You guys have to answer a question. You can do it. I'll paste some more up in a minute. Find one. But I got to thank people first. Again, thank you again and many times over, Grumpy, for bits and also patience and all the stuff you do. Sir Frank, again, a million thanks over. Blasi Garsink, thank you for the 500 bits. Stymie Long Live the Syndicate, thank you very much. The Justice Show, thank you very much. Scooby-Doo, Dart and Obscuro, you guys, thank you. Love seeing your names up there. Mandalar, Moldy Potato again, a moldy potato, a moldy potato, a moldy potato. I'm not going to keep saying it one time for everyone. Trokip, thank you very much. Skeggy Media, Lancel, always. Love your streaming stuff. Need to get on your stream. I meant to talk to you guys. I did not have the boss battle to a playable state yet. I think you guys will like it. We'll have to see who shows up for your group, because it's going to be one where it's going to require people to be able to break up into multiple groups. But it may be a challenge to do on QA. We may have to organize something to do that live. That was me getting on their stream sometime and helping them help me test a boss battle. Because again, as we know, all devs suck at playing. Well, most of us suck at playing. And we need you guys to actually tell us difficulties and stuff. Mandalar, again, thank you many times over. Treasure Pile, Venusada, Aobneal, thank you, man, 1,000 and a couple of thousands there in Mandalar. Justice TV Show, again, Radicus, 2K, Trokip, Blaze, did I scroll back? No, you guys are given multiple times. Darton, thank you, Obscuro Family, Zythar, Tuxel, Grumpy, Moldy Potato, Angel Luscheck. Okay, I think I'm probably back to where we were before. Okay, whew, you guys ready? Go.
Well,
Ravlox.
There you go.
Okay, so there was a couple of people, Azul Reborn and Joe's for the Rack, I think is the right way to say that. We're both asking about an update on the extreme difficulty XP in groups, which I'm aware of, but I don't think we have a good, accurate reproduction on that. So I know that Merrick Dragon is trying to put something together to get a test group together. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so I was going to say, that's another one I have looked at. It's not reproducible in the ways I normally reproduce. It seems to be one I'm going to have to, again, go to live and try and figure out what's going on that's different there. I suspect, because the other thing I see some numbers that are beyond what I would expect in terms of experience gain for some other creatures in there. And my theory is it is exceeding what I expect in terms of experience, and the server's saying heck no to that, because the other ones I expect, and again, this also relates to some people who are able to attenuate in a matter of like 15 minutes, soloing spiders there. So they should not be able to do that. I've seen the experience that those guys are giving, but I've got to get in, and again, it's one I've got to do a special build so I can actually see what's going on live, get everything up to date, and it's not a trivial one, and it's not obvious in case you're out there saying, well, just fix it. Many times tough to reproduce, but that is one that I'm aware of. I will get that fixed for this next release. I want you guys being able to do that stuff, but again, not fixed yet. I do have some additional logging going in for some of that stuff on the server side, again, just so I can try and see what's going on for live. That will go live with the next patch, which hopefully will be this weekend.
Cool. Awesome.
And I'm going to read prizes, and then I'll call on Elgarion. Ornate Spider Legs Cloak goes to Sean Silverfoot, another name I love seeing. Oh, this one's going to be weird calling off these next couple. Okay, well, the next one, Spiderweb Cloak, goes to Vulcan Jedi. Then these next two are weird and coincidental. Woven Spiderweb Cloak goes to Sammy. Zombie Statue goes to Swammy. They could be related.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. We will say that they are probably spouses, and we will not take away one from the other as to not cause any divorce issues. Yeah, Rustic two-story village home goes to Sinister Gates. But yeah, what are the odds? All right, now Elgarion's turn. Let's hear your question.
Well, not too much related to what I'm working on yet. But there's something that I'd like to know the answer to.
Okay.
So I'll alter the question a little bit after I read it out to get more info. Where did it go? It was basically, how does producer, this is by Sorgen Textile, how does producer level affect fishing results? But I'd also like to know how specifically what adventure level, producer level do, and also are there plans for them doing more in the future?
So this is one, for those who don't know the history, when the project started, there's a lot of things that have changed. I know there's a couple names out there I've seen that I believe have been with us back to day one and Kickstarter and drunken 24-hour streams and all the other insane stuff. But a lot of stuff changed over time. Again, we were shooting for some flavor of, we want to make sure it felt Ultima Online, but we did want to also bring in some other aspects, other game design stuff. So originally, player level was actually pretty meaningful, as well as producer level. But over time, that's one of the things that it felt too much like when you put that out there and we make it really important, it really feels like we're telling players, you better go grind. And we wanted to make sure we were as not grindy as possible. So over time, this is over, I don't even remember what releases, maybe release, 5 to 20 or something like that. But over time, more and more stuff kept being stripped away from what producer and adventure level gave. So in the end, the only thing that adventure level does is it is basically a yardstick for players who want to measure up to other players for how much time they've spent adventuring, but it is also used to determine health. Now, I believe that is the only two things it actually does. I know that's the only two things that are really meaningful. For a while, there was logic in there where if a creature was more than 20 levels above you, then it would be more difficult for you to harm. And that's one we even pulled out as well, just because, again, we believe strongly that we want players to be able to get in the game. And if they're coming in with their friend, nothing sucks more than bringing your friend into a game and then they really can't do anything useful. And that was one that, they could level up skills pretty quick, especially with the help of a friend. But bringing their adventure level up to a point where it was meaningful was still a long, long time. So really, that's the only thing adventure level does, is it is used in the calculation for health, and it's kind of a measuring stick for the people. Producer level does nothing. Purely a measuring stick, purely a number. We have talked about adding some more stuff back into it, but again, it gets into that case where we really want to be more of a skill-based game, because what we want to do is, if players, you can get in the game and pretty quick you can be effective if you're actually focusing on a small set of skills, and adventure level takes a long time to come up. But the higher level players, hopefully what they're going to have is, sure, they'll focus on some skills, push them really high, but really they're going to have more of a broad set of skills. But anyways, that's all it does. So that's why earlier when I said Whiskey will be getting a tune-up, that is why I think I confused some people. I kind of put producer and adventure bonus levels on that, even though adventure or producer level does nothing. I was kind of doing it just as a joke, but because you're drinking the nice whiskey and look at me. It kind of felt like it went along with that royal feeling of I'm drinking 25-year whiskey.
Invincible because your adventure level went up.
Yeah, but I think again it's confused a lot of people and also frustrated others because they really want that to have a better effect. Now, that is one thing I will mention on the alcoholic effects in the game that I've been talked about it, that I want to make sure they are, as good as the stuff on the food, but I want to make sure the best alcoholic beverages are not better than the food buffs. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to force people to drink alcohol in the game. I know it's silly, but it's one of those things that, it seems silly to some, but for a lot of people it is something that's really important, whether it's due to, religious beliefs or past trouble or family or whatever thing, that they don't want to have to drink alcohol even in a game in a role-playing setting. And then there's also hey, we got, people who bring their kids in the game, we don't want them to. So if you see that, even though it would be awesome if 25-year whiskey were super amazing, crazy powerful, because it is, takes so long to, so much patience, you won't see it be significantly better. It may have be a step above. Again, I always try to do the apples and oranges and make sure it's equal but different, which is nearly impossible to get exactly right, but I try. But that's why, is I'm trying to make sure the alcohol is not significantly better, because as soon as it is better, then people who don't want to take part in that role-playing aspect will be frustrated, because we're basically making them play at a disadvantage to live out this role-playing thing. So anyways, just throwing that out there for those people who are concerned, or people have kids. I have a kid. Maxine may start playing our game. She's playing another game right now that has some of the features in our game, and I keep walking over and looking over her shoulder because she gets she can do some minor decorations to her clubhouse, and I'm like, why aren't you be playing in our game? Of course, this game that she plays is an educational game, not a role-playing game. But you may see Maxine's castle appear sometime soon with some really bad decos going on. And you may look at it and say, what is up with this crazy person where they've got $5,000 worth of decorations or something, from collector stuff that hasn't existed in the game in 5 years or something, that nobody has except this one little kid who doesn't know what to do with it. So be nice. But anyways, just letting you know. And I got to kick off the third prize round. You guys got any more questions out there? Because if not, I'll go rapid fire some questions.
We saw this first batch that you posted in. Is there any more you can paste in?
Yes. Let me get some more in there. Trying to remember where I left off. Okay, that's the last one. Hold on. Oh yeah, here's about another 25 questions for you.
There's a question here about getting group members' pet health bars added to the UI, which I can see where we could do it maybe as an option or something, because that's going to start filling up your screen. You know,
Yeah.
especially in larger parties.
Yep, and let's see. I'm trying to look for some questions we don't. There's some questions we see every time, and that does not mean they're not good questions. But I'm trying to focus on some questions we haven't seen so much. So if I skip some questions here, or yours doesn't color, whatever, it may be that we've answered it before, or.
I think one of the underlying issues with those pet health bars, me being a healer, our pets are pretty powerful in this game. In fact, doing the Ulfheim Dragon, often it was easier for us just to have a pet tank than it was an actual player tank. And if we have multiple people out with their pets, and I'm just trying to cast Heal Creature, the only way I can physically target their pet is to find them out in the 3D environment and try to click on it. And also, Heal Creature doesn't necessarily target any particular pet in general or specifically. It's more in general. And if I'm hoping I'm healing my tank pet, well, the pet that was closer would steal the heal, and then that kind of stuff. So it would be helpful with situations like pet tanking. That's for sure.
Let's see. Scooby-Doo, a dog, asks, "Can we get Rottweilers in the vault, please?" That is probably... Don't you do most of that organization now, Elgarian?
Rottweiler, I don't have Unity up. Do we have Rottweilers already?
Yeah, there's Rottweilers. They were something that came along, I don't even know how they got in the game, but I know there's Rottweilers in there. I thought.
I think the Rottweiler, if I remember correctly, was a pledge reward for Knight, I think. It was Elderman or Knight or something along those lines.
So maybe something. So
I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, if it's there's some things that we'll keep there, but it may be one that we can go and put a new skin on, or maybe change up the color a little bit and make it a slightly smaller Rottweiler or something. Rottweilers hold a very important place in my heart. I don't think I've ever talked on stream about this, so I'll go ahead and tell this quick story since Richard isn't here to tell long stories. But Rottweilers hold a special place in my heart because the first time I ever played an online role-playing game, a MUD way back, and I'm trying to remember which MUD it was. It may have been Overdrive, Dark MUD, I forget which one it was. But anyways, the first time I ever logged in, the first time I was ever killed in an online role-playing game was by a Rottweiler. There you go. So it does hold a very special place in my heart, having Rottweilers. And I think I was 20-something years old, and I didn't know what a Rottweiler was. Because I wasn't a dog person growing up. I was more of a cat person. We had a poodle, which will make you into a cat person if you have a poodle as a kid. You quickly become a cat person rather than a dog person. So I didn't know dog breeds, and I didn't know what a Rottweiler was. And of course, in those days, it was all text, and it's just like some name, Rottweiler. A Rottweiler jumps in, and I was like, I don't know what that is. So, anyways.
My first online kill was I was killed by a chicken.
Okay, that's a good one.
Ultima Online beta.
So there we go. Maybe you guys can share and chat what the first thing that killed you in an online game was. That would be one. A rat. That rat's a very good one. That was one. Rats are kind of the traditional first thing you have to kill in the standard quest. I know there's one. There's a story on. Not to get too far away from the questions, but there's a story on EverQuest. When EverQuest was out, there's a rat. I think it was called Scruffy. But supposedly, for some amount of time, the designers put it in, but they actually gave it a negative experience value. So if you killed it, you got negative experience. And I have no confirmation this is true. But players figured that out, that you'd get negative experience for killing it. And that's then they started realizing that they could go, avoid everything, find Scruffy, the named rat, kill it to get negative experience, and roll their experience back around to the top and be max player level right at the start with one kill. Pretty cool, huh? No idea if that's true, but anyways, just the rat part reminded me of that. Yeah, EQ rat, that's good. That's a very noble death. Turkey, that's good. Let's see. Felden Grimshaw, any news on meters still being offline? I'm guessing this is the API. Is that what he means by meters?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, he's
guessing
talking
so.
about the API.
That is one I asked. That's one that Undone normally does. I asked him to take a look at it. I don't know if he has taken a look at it. I think he was. We have. That's one that we usually have a time sync problem between. We sometimes have a problem just with how that's set up, and we need to more bulletproof it and also get something up that shows us when it's offline, because we have different load balancing servers and the way stuff comes through and gets into our data cluster and then gets routed through our hardware router and that type of stuff to end up at the API box. When one of those things changes, when a IP changes on the outside, we have to switch it up to allow proper routing through, because we sometimes lock. I think that's when we lock to a specific. I will only accept it coming from this, and it will only go through here. Let me tell you all about the security of our servers so you guys can try and figure out how to hack in and break stuff. But anyways, that was one that we probably have locked down a little too tight for that API, and it's left it in a fragile state, because quite frequently we use, for the thing that's forwarding it through, I think that may be an Amazon box that's forwarding it through, but it is the IPs on those, the box will die and it changes IPs on us. So we've got to come up with a better solution for that. But that's usually what it is we have to go update two different things, an IP someplace, and then we have to go update a routing table or acceptable, what packets, IPs we accept stuff from. So again, sorry for that. I know it's been down. I did get the other thing up, the leaderboard. That was another one that was fragile, and I didn't even understand why. But I actually understand. I can tell a story on this one. It was purely a coincidence that thing ever worked at all. How about that? There was one machine. That's one that required the machine that processed that. Runs through a Python script and does a pulling on our internal APIs for pulling data. And the machine that was processing it just happened to be the only machine available at the time slot when it would happen, due to other builds that were always going on that get scheduled for a morning dev build and that type of stuff, and morning backups for things. So the only machine that could properly run it just happened to be the one that was available most of the time. So when something would break, like for instance, hey, the dev build's got a compile error in it or some error in it, it would change up the timing of all that, and different machines would be available to run that process. They would run it and fail. So it turns out there was a bad Python package that needed to be installed on the other machine. So now all the machines that can run that have the proper package. I know this is all probably way too technical and tedious for you guys, but we are supposed to be a developer stream, right? But anyways, it was another one of those things that this worked purely by coincidence, and then just some timings changed on some things, and it no longer worked by coincidence. But now it is fixed, and it will actually work for reals. So there you go. But anyways, on the API stuff, I know it's a weekend, but no one on the team really thinks in terms of weekends and stuff like that. So I will make sure that gets set up, fixed up. If I have to go do it myself, I'll make sure it gets done this weekend. You guys got one? I gotta click another button. Who wants to read off this last one?
Yeah, I can. It's fine.
Okay, hold on. Let me kick it off. Bam. Oh, it's going so much faster now.
Alrighty.
Hold on. Takes
We'll do a
exactly
question
32
while we
seconds.
wait.
Do it.
So, Tina O'Neill, thanks for asking a question I can answer. We got a, can you please elaborate on what inky things are happening? Well, let me go through what I've submitted lately, get you an idea. So you have an idea of a lot of the stuff that's already on the store. Of course, the Craftable Beggar inky is there. You've got the Ghost one from the sub rewards. There's another one coming for sub rewards. There is 5 currently planned ones you can get through quests, 2 of which will be recipe, 3 of which will just outright get the inky. So it'll be a Oracle crawler, an Oracle flyer inky that you can build, and you'll do a quest to get those. That's something Sanyo wants to put in one of his quests as a reward for those. And then 3 children inkies that if you go do a quest, that'll be for Samuel also to give as a reward on one of his quests. We've got another one that'll just be put right on the crafting vendor, a inky female beggar, kind of like a golem type automaton feel to it. And then for lately, what will be coming to the store by R83, we have got, let me scroll to that area. What I did today was a human male underdweller inky, a Shogun Guard male conversationalist, a Shogun Guard female, Shogun Villager male, Shogun Villager female, Norgardian Guard male and female, Norgardian Villager male and female, Lich Fighter, Lich Archer, Lich Mage, Skeletal Archer, Skeletal Fighter, Skeletal Mage. Clover Pavers are coming to the store. Let's see here, a bandit male conversationalist, elf underdweller male, Ebendon Fighter, Ebendon Archer, and the list goes on, guys. So you'll have a lot of variety, and I'm not done yet. I want to get this done while it's all fresh in my mind. Again, I can knock them out fast and get a whole bunch of, I don't want you to hold back making story just because, I wanted to make a story about a kobold, and there's no kobolds. So, so they're coming.
All right, let me catch up real quick on people to thank. Again, Sir Frank, can't thank you enough, buddy. Dolrace Tazar, thank you for the resub. Thank you, Dolrace, for the follow. John Marcus, thank you for the bits, little buddy. Mal Harry, thank you for the bits, ×5. And we also talked about adding in, as we continue to sexy up the Lord of the Isle stuff, because we're adding in new features and things, so that's one of those things that I think existed before we had the Inkies, so making a special Inky NPC for those guys. But that's one that I will probably do code for. And again, it's just a number. I'll just change it and turn it up. It'll be fine. But I'll probably make one that has a much larger number in terms of its capacity to go with it. So I know I always hear people say that they really, really want to be able to do like a really big, massive conversation guy that'll basically turn into a Wikipedia as an NPC. We'll see how.
One other thing that we might want to look at for, let's say, next year's plan is to add some more functionality to the Inky NPC, whereas the Inky NPC with specific keywords can give items to the players, so that way they can use them as quest rewards for player quests.
That'd be cool.
Yep. And some of those, the other ones, it was low-hanging fruit, but it becomes a little less low-hanging fruit. We can probably make it work and just not worry about it when it doesn't work, is making them do various emotes and using that as part of the script, so you guys, or even play VFX or sound effects for those type things.
Right.
So that's one that we've got to get in there. And I say it becomes a little less low-hanging fruit, a little less easy, and we just have to deal with something being broken. Because, again, as we're adding in some of these other types, it may be a animation model that does not know how to do the toast effect or whatever thing it is. So, but that's one, I love seeing those guys come on. Again, as I mentioned, and probably should apologize for. Sometimes we do these really big, heavy systems, and by the time we get done to the end of it, of getting the really hard work done, we forget to do the easy work that makes it actually really powerful and meaningful to you guys. So thank you for getting those done. I'll carry on.
Oh, yeah, no problem. It's fun.
I think it is.
Good thing somebody suggested for the Inkies in the future is having the capability to do hidden conversation options that don't show up in the keyword list. So because other words, if let's say you learn the password from some other place, and then you can go up and say the password, and you would get unique dialogue, and maybe even know where loot's, where you can find loot and stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, nope, that should be doable. Again, for those who don't know Inky, those are guys we sponsor. They're another little indie house that does a tool called Inky. You can just go search for Inky Dialogue or something. But they actually basically made it open source, and it's just donationware. We did donate to them, of course, and I've talked to those guys a few times and told them they're amazing. But yeah, that's one that we could definitely work in. And that is one that the guy who should probably be doing this, if I can spit it out, is Undone, because he actually, for those who know Undone, he kind of splits his time between our game and a game that he works on the side as well. But that's something that we actually ended up using that because he used it on his game and was like, "This is amazing," and so we grabbed it. But that's anytime we have those like overlaps where we can help us, we can help him. That's one that I would love to get him working on that for us first. I think he already may have it in his game, so it may be even easier than that. But we'll see. Did we read off these last prizes yet? Because it's actually after 5, and we need to wrap things up here pretty quick.
We got Karen von Cedarwood has won the Ornate Spiderlegs Cloak. We got Lily Bird wins the Spiderweb Cloak. We got Ascadi has won the Woven Spiderweb Cloak. Andrew Night Owl has won the Zombie Statue. And James Doddy has won the Rustic 2-Story Village Home. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Let me get one more here. Let's see. Gaylorn Hammer Throw. Sometimes my dash fires off when I enter into a new instance. Oh, Bugmaster, do you know anything about that one? I have not seen that. I'm wondering if it's maybe some key configuration thing.
No, I haven't seen that one either. How specifically? However, I think it may actually come under a scenario where it's a symptom of the same issue that happens, where randomly you'll hear the heartbeat as if you're dying. And I actually experienced it once. In a total of 5 years, I've experienced that once. We know we have other things like hearing the electrical sound from the moon tower when you enter a scene that has a moon tower.
Yes.
That's been identified and we know what's causing it, but that requires some work to rebuild the moon tower. So I think it's a similar situation, but the heartbeat, dash, and some other stuff that's going on randomly when you enter the scene, it's very, well, I don't say it's very rare, but it's kind of rare. I think they're tied together, and there may be some variable clearing that needs to be done.
All right. Yeah, I definitely have not seen that, and I would have seen it. So,
yeah.
Curious what the magic sauce.
You can't reproduce it. It just happens, and then it goes away. So.
Let's see. But I think we probably should wrap things up. We still got to talk about some fishing stuff and upcoming stuff, and I'm going to go pick the next stream. Hey, you Mandalar, huge thanks, buddy. Thank you, Mandalar.
So you ready for some fishing stuff?
Do it. I'll stop thanking Mandalar after I thank him one more time. Thank you, Mandalar. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. The results for this past week's fishing contest, believe it or not, is week 22 since we started these. The player-owned towns that they took place in was in White Rock, Brittany Fort, and Barons Reach, and then the Rune Ruins was, I believe, the PvP fishing location, and Black Blade Pass was the lava fishing location. So let's see here. Winning a player-owned town roll-out deed, no trade, and a large gold fishing trophy is Corlag Brudalak. He fished out a sturgeon out, measuring in at 2.99 ambiguous units out of Brittany Fort. Congratulations. Then winning a 2-chain obsidian shard 3-pack and a large silver fishing trophy. Enoch, congratulations. He pulled out a swordfish measuring in at 3.166 ambiguous units out of Ruin Ruins. And I've got a lava fishing rod of prosperity and a large bronze fishing trophy going to Delane Lachlan. He fished out a Mosasaurus measuring it at 5.872 ambiguous units out of Black Blade Pass. Congratulations. And the upcoming fishing event, guys, is the town, 3-player-owned towns is going to be Pack Slayer, Novia Market, and Dark Bayou. It's going to be freshwater this time around. The largest fish out of a PvP scene is going to be out of Liberus Ruins, and the largest lava fish needs to be fished out of Bunker Sea. Also, there's 3 crossover events this week. We've got Pack Slayer, Brittany Fort, and Novia Market all running crossover events, so be sure to click into those main forum posts advertised on the upcoming events page here and learn more about what extra prizes you can win. Also, we've got folks with Brown Coach Jason going to be running a Extra Life charity event coming up on November 7th on Saturday. So if you'd like to help sick kids, be sure to participate. So just a fantastic charity event to become involved with, and here's a link to his forum post. We've also got Terrifying Tea Tales from Lily Bird and friends over at Jade Gardens. They do a lot of mad splatter tea parties, but it's got a particular theme related to, of course, Halloween and stuff, and you can learn why the water at Jade Gardens, why is it fetid water? I wonder. Well, you have to go and find out. And that's going to be on October 18th, 3 to 5 p.m. Central. And here's the main forum post if you want to learn more about that. All right, we've got Net, a really old community member, has decided to start up a diary on the forums, and he's just posted a recent picture. Was unusual structure going up a tree. You'll have to look on this particular events page to see it if you scroll down a little bit. But it looks like some sort of like lookout platform with weird wall dividers going up a column. But if you want to learn more about Ned's diary and all the different adventures he does around New Britannia, be sure to check out his main forum post for that. And we have a role-playing event, guys. Somebody has requested use of the GM potions to do, like, simulate a kobold invasion. And so let's check this out here. This is the link to his forum post, and it's the people of Ironhall City. There's reports of nearby kobold sightings, so if you would like to join them and help them defend their lands, please participate. It's Sunday, October 11th, 7 p.m. Central. Where? Well, Ironhall City. And, of course, Avatar Express needs you. If you want to become a reporter for Avatars Express, be sure to get in touch with people like Sean Butts over there and get involved. And Crafters Town is running a shopping spree all month long. More information about that. We have lots of great prizes and lots of great deals. And Baron's Reach is doing an auction every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central. Where? Well, Baron's Reach. And if you want to learn more, bada bing, bada boom. There you go. And that's all I got. Whoop, hold on, one more. And the Poet Circle is back. I'll continue advertising this for a little bit. So if you guys are looking to get into doing creating music to put into the game, like to be the theme music for your Play Your Own Town or something like that, all you have to do is get with the Poet Circle. They're a vetting society run by Kylif, one of the bards of the Poet Circle from back in the day, always still with the team, and they're going to go through it and see if it meets the requirements, give you some suggestions for edits, and then they can get it put in the game. But really, if it's just like a period type sounding song, it seems to be pretty much the go-to. But we've got so many wonderful songs in the game, and your song could be in it too. And here's a link to that one.
I have two things. I saw something, I don't know when they posted it. I think they were saying that can happen in response to you talking about the GM event where a player can get that. Yeah, for those people, again, this is supposed to be an information stream. For those people who don't know, we do actually have the ability to grant players, we have to flag your character on the server, and then we have to give you special potions that are no trade, and then you use those, and it gives you a limited time. Hey, thank you again, Mandalar, a million times over, buddy. 1,050, that's an odd number. But we can grant you basically some limited GM powers. Now, before you start sitting there thinking that's great, what's going to keep people from just like making the best loot creature in the game 1,000 times? You can summon creatures. You can basically summon almost any creature in the game for your event, but it does not give the loot or the experience for it. So it is not exploitable in that way. It's really for if you want to have a role-playing event, you're someone who's been a community member and we trust. We don't just give it to anybody who falls off the potato truck. I will mention also the scene that is in the update that's going to be the new boss fight, the first boss fight scene that I'm putting out this release. One of the things I'm doing for it, again, trying to make sure it has a very different feel. My current name for it, and I haven't had anybody overrule me yet, I don't think, is that it's called The Breach. Because it's basically you have to work to open the breach that then starts the final wave battle fight. But for that one, I'm actually putting together a new weather category. If you've seen any of the stuff, like I can change the weather. I guess I can do that in game right now. Which is you can set weather. You guys have a different thing, but for us, we can do all sorts of different stuff. So you can actually like turn the entire scene that you're in for the GM event. You can turn that into, let me summon a great storm. But I'm actually putting together a completely new weather category for that scene that has it is basically going to be something like, if you look at, let's see, this, which is foggy, that you'll be able to force a heavy fog into the scene. It'll be a darker fog, but it'll also have lightning effects that's going on. So no rain, but it'll have kind of the lightning effect from the rain and a dark fog that goes on. So again, this will be one that for GM events, I think it'll be a fun one. And just because I'm adding it for that one scene, it'll now be available to anybody who runs GM events as one of your options when you set weather. Because have you tried set weather? I'm pretty sure that's one that works. So. But yes, yes, you can be a GM. So that's one thing I want to mention. Also, that's another side effect of me working on that scene and making some cool new stuff for it. But let's see. I think I'm ready to pick here. I did want to mention that Mandalar, you were immortalized when I went to pick a channel. It always picks a thumbnail for each of the streams, as you probably know on Twitch. And on my thumbnail, it picked you donating 2,000 bits. So there you are. You're famous on the stream. There, you're my thumbnail apparently. But anyways, there's 3 people out there. I love all 3 of them. Okay, I love 2 of them, and I have seen the other one streaming a lot lately, so I want to make sure he gets a shot, and it looks like he's doing some interesting stuff. So how about a random 3 between Silvertree, Graceful Bard, Revenant, let's see, whoops, not up there. And the result is a 1, which is Silvertree. So we will be raiding Silvertree. So get ready to go raid Silvertree. He's already got 16 viewers in there. If you are Silvertree's awesome all around, loves the deco stuff and the crafting stuff. Graceful Bard, also amazing. She's also one to go help, because especially right now, as I haven't done my reminder that there's a pandemic going on, stay home and play. She's actually a professional musician, and occasionally she will grace you with a song and music. So definitely a great one to check out. And then also Revenant 84, like I said, new, but I've been seeing him on there a lot. And it looks like he's doing some interesting stuff. I think he was fighting demons when I peeked in on him. So we are going to raid Silvertree. I will not torture you with any singing today, as I do sometimes. You guys can end up wherever you want to, but any one of those 3 is probably a great choice. What? No singing? I know. Yes, on future streams, if you donate 1337 bits, I will torture you with singing. I was actually kind of hoping someone would do it, because I started my day at, I don't know, 3:30 or something. And so at about 2:30, I stopped and went and did watch the final episode of The Boys. And if you've watched The Boys season 2, one of the main characters in it is really into Billy Joel, and so there's like a lot of Billy Joel songs and references in it. So I was actually thinking if somebody did, I was going to pick a Billy Joel song and do it. No, too late. Don't try doing it now. Next stream, you can make me torture your friends. But again, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the stream today. Thanks for playing the game, supporting the game in so many different ways. Thanks for all the constructive questions and feedback. We do actually listen. Like I said, maybe next stream I'll try doing the I ask you questions and let you guys vote on stuff so I can get some feedback on stuff. I think that'll be fun if we can come up with enough questions. But again, let's go raid. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And thanks for joining us. Bling. And now...